Hi everyone, I wanted to share my latest mixed media piece, which is this one here. It's been done in the sort of art journaling style that everyone's showing videos on at the moment, so I've been very inspired by various people. And if you watch my last video, I shared this piece here and I talked about maybe starting another art journal of my own. I've kind of decided that I'm going to do individual pieces like this and then maybe glue them to chipboard and bind my own journal, because I'm much happier working like that rather than from a book. So I made another one exactly the same size, which is A5 size, and I'll just show you some close-ups on here and talk through what I did. The background, it's just regular cardstock, and the background was painted with Lumia paints, and I used 3 different colours on there, I think. One was the blue gold, and hang on, if you bear with me I'll tell you exactly what they were. Okay, yeah, the halo blue gold was one of the colours, which is a really pretty colour, and it's obviously a two-tone colour. And I used the pearl turquoise, and the other one was indigo, which is that one there, which you probably can't see the colour that well, but a really deep blue purple colour. So they were the colours that I started with, and you can see more of the indigo down here, and the blue gold was at the top. Then I used my new darkroom door script stamp, which fitted right the way across. So I just stamped it twice, once at the top and then joined it at the bottom, and that was stamped in Stays On Ultramarine. Then I wanted to try out my new Stays On Gold, which you can see it there, and it is pretty good compared to other gold inks that I've used. Brilliance is the only one that I've found that will go over acrylics, and you need to heat set it, and the gold is not as intense as that, so it is fairly good. The only thing I will say, if you've not used the ones that you re-ink yourself before, you need to go really easy on how much ink you put on the pads, because the pad does not absorb the ink like your regular pads. So less is more. The first time I stamped it there was way too much ink, and I had to be really light, but I am happy with it, and as you can see it's really bright gold. So the swirls there, I just stamped it I think 3 or 4 times. It's a little bit under there. The swirl is the Tim Holtz stamp. Then what did I do next? I went over it with another Tim Holtz stamp, which is this one here, which is from one of the grunge sets. I forget the name of it. Psychedelic Grunge, that's the set. And it's like the dot matrix. And I used the Stays On teal blue for that. So there's some sort of down here, over here. There's a little bit at the top there as well. Then the next thing I did was to paint over that with some gesso, just randomly in places. Then I found these are digital collage images that I bought from someone on Etsy, and I'm sorry I can't remember the name, but I'm sure if you Google or search for, not Google, if you go to Etsy and search for mermaid collage sheet, I think that's what I did, and these are from 3 different sheets, but they're all from the same seller, and it brought those up. So I distressed the edges and then stained the edges with the Stays On Teal, and then applied them with some matte gel medium, and then over the top of it, you can see there, I added some like a pearlescent glaze, which I mixed myself. I've got this is the Daler Rowney glaze medium, which dries to a gloss finish that I really like using that stuff, and I used it with the Lumia pearl white because I didn't want to cover the images totally, but I did want to tie them in, so I just brushed over it randomly in different directions and then onto the main part of the card as well. Then the next thing, I took this fleur-de-lis stamp, stamped that randomly in teal, and the reason I used that, if you look carefully on this image here, at the bottom of it, it's like a fleur-de-lis image. So that's the reason that I chose that stamp, and I stamped on and off the collage pieces to tie them in. Then I also used this raw tie-in stamp in black, and this is by Paper Artsy. I can't remember which set it's from, but it's from they've got a range called Urban Snapshots if you go to paperartsy.co.uk. And I think they do sell them in the States as well. If you try stampdiva.com, I think they sell some Paper Artsy images, so you should be able to get a hold of those. Then again, I put some glaze over it because it was a little bit too jet black. It stood out too much, so just to tie it in, some more glaze over it. This stamp underneath the raw tie-in, that's a Paper Bag Studios stamp, so that's been stamped in a few places also. Oh, I forgot to mention the rays that I stamped. This is the Tim Holtz rays from the mini grunge set. They were stamped with gesso, and then I outlined them with a Signo Uniball pen, which is the best white pen for over acrylics that I've found. So I did all that, then stamped this, which the Good Times, which is an Inkadinkado stamp. So that was stamped in Stays on Black. Went round it again with the Signo pen, and then the By the Sea is from Oxford Impressions, from one of their plates, and then this, the rest of the text on here, where it says Fairy Tale Enchantment Lives On, that was computer generated, and the font is called 1942 Report. I sponged it with the Stays On, added some glaze over it, and a little bit of the Signo pen around the outside, and then smudged it. Don't know if you can see that very well. Smudged it so it blended it in. So I think that is everything on there. I was really pleased with how this came out. I adore these images, really love them, and I've not used them yet. I've been looking for a time to use them, and this was it. So I hope you like that piece, and as usual, any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. Thank you for watching. Bye!